Hello everybody and welcome to this playthrough for Rookie Division qualifying round version here for the Frosty Peaks Tournament in Golf Clash the game. Video sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic, and make sure you do subscribe to the channel. You can do that for free by pressing the button in the bottom right corner. Also go to golfclashtommy.com for more Golf Clash related content for free. Last but not least, get the ultimate tournament guides or tour guides to improve your gameplay on patreon.com/golfclashtommy. We now offer individual packaging for a tournament, which we haven't done before, obviously for a cheaper price. Check them out and you will not be disappointed. Follow the info box on the right hand side to get the elevation and club distance adjustment combined with what ball and club type I do suggest you to play with. If you have any questions, make sure you make a comment or you send in an email to support@golfclashtommy.com. And last, hit thumbs up. Can we get this video to 200 thumbs up? That would be amazing. And in the end though, let's go to hole number 1. For hole number 1, we will start by using 4.5 bar topspin, 1 bar of side spin to the right. And the most of our focus here should be on the ball guideline. Second bounce to be just in between the rough to the left and to the right, and obviously the complete ball guideline will have the same type of structure. Adjustment maximum distance with a 15% over adjustment here. Perfect ball, and the ball is traveling down the fairway, and we are looking to have the first bounce on the fairway, then obviously second bounce on the fairway, and we are looking to get up to a yardage that will be approximately 330 yards. Now 326, a little bit shorter than what we in somewhat want, but with the straight tailwind towards the pin, it's most definitely going to be a good chance for us here. We will be playing very close to minimum distance of our club, but I would recommend you to always check where you are at in terms of distance towards your pin. So in the end, check where minimum distance line is, check where maximum distance line is, and then we apply backspin. The ball guideline goes to the pin. Look at the blue ring. We have a slight overlap at the bottom part of the blue ring by the fairway just before the fringe. That could be a good reference for you to follow. In between minimum distance and medium distance with minus 10% elevation. Minus 10% elevation means that we're playing uphill. And what does uphill mean? It means that we are then having to adjust less due to the ball being less affected by the wind. Perfect ball. We have the ball bounce very nicely and rolls beautifully right at pin for an eagle here on hole number 1. For hole number 2, we will play on the left hand side. 4.5 bar top spin, 2 bars of side spin to the left. With an XML level 6, we are in complete maximum distance. That will not be the case when we play with XMI level 7 or level 8, as we have more power on our driver, but we should still be managing doing this drive very well. Maximum distance plus 10, getting the ball to be as close to the top of the fairway possible. And I do believe this is a very nice spot to be in approaching the pin. Now, second shot is played with a long iron because we're just in the cutoff of playing between the sniper and the Goliath. So I do choose the Goliath. I'm trying to play this one with a maximum distance with a 25% over adjustment here with the Goliath level 6. The thing is though, we will miss heavily on the left hand side. Sure, hitting great left is not helping, but I strongly believe that even if we would be hitting perfect, we would miss pretty heavily on the left hand side still. So the reason we're going with max plus 35 is just that. You may be wondering, why do I have the sniper in the info box instead of the Goliath? It's because if you do have a higher level sniper, I would recommend you to play with that one instead and play somewhat minimum distance of your club instead and use backspin. Problem with my sniper level 6 is that I do not have enough backspin and will then have a problem. That's why I'm choosing to go with a long iron, even though that's not my favorite option. Hard one here to drop, but definitely a possibility. For hole number 3, we will be attempting a rough bump, and here we will be using a katana. And the reason we're using the katana is obviously to reduce the wind, but also to use a decent amount of backspin. So here you can see I'm using a little bit of top spin, a little bit of side spin to the right. Ball guideline to the hole is what we're looking for, and that goes for sniper level 6 and above. So every sniper that is above level 6 is what you do need to do there. Now I do adjust a 3.2 rings, so I'm going with a 1-to-1 adjustment here. I would like us though to increase that adjustment just a little bit to be 3.4 rings instead. And what that means is that we will be adjusting medium distance with a 20% over adjustment, power 2 ball numbers. So we're using power 2, 20% over adjustment, and then that will give us 3.4 rings instead of 3.2. And I do believe that that would be getting us the drop if we would be adjusting that instead of the 3.2 that we do adjust in the video. For hole number 4, we will have another very good attempt for an eagle, and here we do have headwind, and this is a difficult wind to play with, so I actually decide to go up to play with a power 3 ball. Why do I choose a power 3 ball instead of a different driver? It's because topspin here is super duper valuable, and I want to play with the big topper if possible, because that would help me bouncing over the rough and roll down towards the final part of the fairway. Max top spin, I'm also using one right spin, and I'm aiming into the rough on the left. Adjustment max plus nothing, so no elevation. Ball just outside the adjustment ring to the right, and then we will bounce on the fairway. And you can see here that we just barely clip the rough, and the only thing that we in that case need to tweak here is that we will have to just reduce the curl a little bit. So make sure that you don't have the ball outside the adjustment ring to the right, back up a little bit and just be before. If you in that case end up doing exactly the same as I do, then you should be playing medium distance with a 10% elevation instead of 0, which is the normal elevation for this hole. If you roll further down as we plan to do but didn't achieve here in this video, then we should be going with no elevation instead. But here we do play slightly downhill, and then we do need the 10% extra. I do try though, as I do adjust for 5% extra, but as you will notice here that I just missed this one. It is really close. We're taking somewhat like a 270, 360 around the hole, and you know, when you see this camera you think it's gonna go in, but very unlucky. And in the end though, make sure you get the 10% elevation. If you do manage to fall short, if you roll past the final part of the rough, then you should be playing with no elevation and use still the same type of club distance towards the pin. For hole number 5, I would recommend you to use the long iron that gives you the best ball guideline, which in my case is the Goliath level 6, but it could most definitely be a different long iron as well, depending on what you have unlocked and what level you have it in. Grizzly level 7 is superior, any other long iron, especially in lower level. Aim for the pin, and here comes the ball guideline part in, that the better ball guideline we have, the easier it's going to be to know if you are right at pin, or if you are short, or if you're gonna be long, etc. No spin whatsoever is what I'm using, and we're playing medium distance with a 15% over adjustment. So we do adjust, and we take our shot, and the ball bounces nicely on the fairway and it gets up towards the pin. Here, however, though, we are looking to add a little bit extra adjustment, combined with we need a little bit of topspin to become closer. There is a rough bump here to go with, that I would in somewhat recommend to go if you feel very comfortable with your adjustment skills and also hitting perfect. But if you don't hit perfect going for the rough bump, you will miss the rough, and then that could, but for hole number 6, we're gonna play a fairly boring hole here in my opinion, and here I will actually use the big topper once again. And the reason I'm using the big topper is because I do want to utilize its topspin. If you don't have a big topper in at least level 2, then use the other driver that gives you the most power and topspin possible, which in most cases will be an extra mile or a Thor's hammer or an apocalypse in that matter. Adjustment maximum distance plus 10, then it's time to take our shot. And as you will see here, I'm not using any curl whatsoever. I'm just going to focus all my energy at the fact that I do want and need to hit perfect here. Ball bounces very nicely and it rolls and it rolls and it rolls. Beautiful little roll there in the end to get ourselves up to a yardage that is 369. Second shot, we play with the wood club that gives us the most power. Now we do have headwinds, so it's going to be needed to have a lot of power here. Because what do we want to do? Do we want to go for the pin for an albatross? Nah, we are actually just looking to get into the right side of the green, making sure we are getting an eagle in as safe way possible. Maximum distance plus 10, as you already saw, I'm using 2 bars of side spin to the left, and then we will apply 3/4 of the ball outside the adjustment ring to the left. And bouncing on the fairway, getting down towards the green, and then we will gonna for hole number 7, we will be doing a bounce over the rough to try to make an hole-in-one. First and foremost, we go back. We move back and using a navigator. And I will be applying 3 bars of backspin here. And look at the ball guideline. The tip of the ball guideline should be approximately 1 green square just before the pin. But obviously the ball guideline should point directly at the pin. That is very, very important. Now, adjustment is going to be 4 rings for 4 miles per hour, which means that you're just looking at what wind strength you're having, and that will be the amount of rings that you're going to adjust. It simplifies it and makes you be able to adjust in a very strong way without using any type of help tool. If you're looking to use an application or any chart in some sort, you play medium distance with a 15% over adjustment power 1 ball settings. And it's always lovely to end up with a hole-in-one on the final hole, final par 3. For hole number 8, we do have tailwind, and here I was honestly thinking about just going full blast, trying to get the ball down the fairway close to the green. But in the end though, I just do decide to not do that, and the reason for that is because I do not feel I do have the club for it. If I do have a club with 6 bars of topspin minimum, then I could use a power 5 ball and go full blast, trying to get the ball to green area. If not, having lower level clubs like I do have here, we're not gonna do that, we're just gonna lay up. 2 bars of side spin to the right, we will also apply a backspin 1.5 bar, and adjustment is going to be maximum distance with no elevation whatsoever, 3.9 rings. I could also see that I actually didn't have the needle straight north, and that is the reason why we bounce so close to the rough. Sits nicely just behind the rough there, and that will be perfect for us trying to attack the pin. 270 yards. Now, second shot, Goliath is going to be the play. Max topspin is what I'm gonna use, and then we're gonna see the ball guideline be short of pin. But yes, have in mind, we need to be short of pin here because we do not have a fully developed ball guideline with the Goliath level 6. So if we do have the ball guide to the pin, we're coming too hot. And that's the reason why we're going with such a short ball guideline. Now, we're close to the rough, have that in mind. So it is somewhat of a risky shot here, but please have in mind that you don't need to play this rough bump if you don't feel comfortable with it. Then you just bounce on the fairway, attacking the pin in a normal way, and then just take your birdie, which is most likely gonna be the thing that you end up with. If you want to maximize your opportunity to go for an eagle or get an eagle, you should be playing the rough bump using the Goliath here as I'm doing. We bounce nicely into the rough. I'm using a maximum distance with a 15% over adjustment. I would like us to reduce and play max plus 10 because we have room, and that is making the difference from dropping this shot or not. So a good chance with a very interesting rough bump here on hole number 8. For hole number 9, I will be playing on the left-hand side. This because the second shot will then be easier and also actually, in my opinion, a pretty nice chance for making an albatross. 4.5 bar topspin, I'm using 3 bars of side spin to the left, keeping myself in absolute maximum distance. Adjustment will be maximum distance plus 10 with our driver. So we do adjust the maximum distance plus 10. Once we are done with that, we push up to max. And then last but not least, we will apply a little bit of overpower, and this will only be 2 rings. Perfect ball. And we see the ball bouncing nicely on the fairway, getting it down to the fairway here. And I think this is an absolutely lovely distance, and I'm really enjoying this drive. Have in mind, if you do play with an extra mile level 7, level 8, reduce the overpower. I would say that extra mile level 8, which has 236 yards, should not need any overpower. Extra mile level 7, 1 ring to give that little boost. Extra mile level 6 has 232 yards, which is 2 yards less than extra mile level 7. Second shot here, you can choose an easy way where you bounce up towards the pin, but I'm going to go aggressive here. I do feel there is a ton of value trying to go for a rough bump here, because then you get first and foremost a nice ball guideline to roll towards the pin. You take away the secondary bounce wind effect completely. Now we adjust with 3 bars of side spin to the left and then approximately 3 bars of top spin. Inner ring to be just by the edge of the rough. And ball guideline should be through the hole. Make sure here now that when you pull your rings, that the wind arrow should not be pointing anything on the left side of the center. So no 1159 here at all, because that would risk you to miss the rough. Medium distance plus 5 is what I'm using here. And we do have the ball bouncing nicely into the rough and then roll lovely into an albatross here. Right at pin beautifully. In the end though, it's an aggressive route. I feel that that route is superior, the other route, to play for an albatross. But at the same time, I totally understand that you might not feel comfortable with the wind ring system and with your adjustment. Then play on the fairway on the left of the rough and bounce it towards the pin. In a worst case scenario, in that case, you will receive an eagle and not danger the birdie. Not danger the eagle. Oh my god. Swinglish! But yeah, you don't danger the eagle. Thank you so much everybody for watching this playthrough for the Frosty Peaks tournament here in Golf Clash the game. Make sure that you do email support@golfclashtommy.com if you do have any type of questions. Also get the ultimate tournament guides on patreon.com/golfclashtommy. We now offer individual packages, so if you're looking only for a specific division, you don't have to buy them all. You can only get that one, obviously, for a cheaper price. Make sure to check it out. Link in the description down below. Video is sponsored by Golf Clash and Platedemic. Thank you so much for watching and good luck in the Frosty Peaks tournament.